0:01 a.m., September 2nd, 2025 coordinates. Kyiv, Ukraine. Darnitsky District. 50.456 N, 30.634 E. It's dead quiet. Streets deserted. Ukrainian radar stations light up with new tracks. Kinzhal hypersonic missiles inbound. Detected at extreme range, moving at a blistering Mach 12 over 14,000 kilometers per hour. Air raid sirens wail, waking hundreds of thousands. Emergency crews scramble to rise. The first enemy weapons shate 136 kamikaze drones buzz low outside the city, evading radar and electronic swarms. At least 598 drones and decoys enter Ukrainian airspace, forming a cloud visible on NATO's AWACS feeds. Each carries a warhead capable of devastating armored vehicles or smashing apartment blocks. On the horizon, the distinct smoke trail of a Kh-101 strategic cruise missile, launched from a Tu-95MS Bear bomber loitering over the Black Sea, its engine profile visible to NATO spotters. The wave escalates. 0:15 a.m. Russian High Command initiates a group strike with mixed weaponry. 2x Kh-47M2. Kinzhal hypersonic missiles range, 2,000 kilometers. Warhead, 500 kilograms. Max speed, Mach 10 plus 9XS Conarem KN-23 ballistic missiles. Range, 500 kilometers. 20x Kh-101 cruise missiles. Range, 2,800 kilometers. Stealth terrain following. From multiple launch sites scores Bryansk, Milarovo. Crimea, the sky thickens with streaking vapor trails. Explosions echo across 13 impact zones. With fragments raining over 26 separate locations within Kyiv and surrounding districts, the guidance hit radar stations, military depots, and air defense batteries cripple Ukraine's front line while signaling Moscow's reach. False alarms spark panic. Civilians rush to subway shelters as anti-air defenses blaze. Mobile phone networks orders issued to all air defense sectors. Shoot down the hypersonic at all costs. Ukraine's air defense forces deploy S-300 and NASAMS batteries with tracking radars on max sensitivity. Gunners brace for incoming Kinzhal missiles. Their maneuverability makes interception nearly impossible. Suddenly, a single Kinzhal warhead explodes mid-air. Collision with an American-supplied Patriot PAC-3 interceptor range. 70 kilometers saves hundreds. But one Kinzhal slips through, striking a known headquarters, not just flattening the building but warping the ground with kinetic force. Throughout the barrage, 563 out of 598 Shate drones destroyed. 26 out of 31 missiles downed. 589 flying objects stopped in less than an hour. Figures confirmed by frantic radio exchanges in Ukraine. Air Force command logs, civilian infrastructure shredded. A 9-story apartment block collapses across the Darnitsky sector, rescued in partial darkness. Search and rescue teams, K9 units, climbing squads, engineers, and police rush through debris. Emergency radios buzz. Many trapped, multiple fatalities, ongoing secondary explosions. Fire engines weave through flaming streets. Officers carry survivors out on stretchers. The count climbs at least 14 dead, 48 wounded, with dozens missing under the rubble. Kyiv's city administration, all flags at half-mast, entertainment cancelled. European Union office glass shattered. British council staff wounded inside their offices. French President Macron condemns the attack as terror and barbarity. 4 waves of Shate, 136 drones rip across daylight. Their Iranian-derived jet engines scream above the lower rooftops, bearing down on air defense radar sites in a shopping center. Anti-drone teams armed with electronic jammers and laser pointers try to force drones off course. The city's air defense software flashes. Electronic warfare possible. Not enough power to jam entire wave. Midway through the attack, a false peak. Buildings shake from direct hits. Flashes suggest at least one hypersonic missile has been intercepted. Civilians flee. Seconds later, another drone wave approaches from new vectors, targeting utilities and military depots. Ukrainian defenders execute strategic deception, deploy fake radar sites, light up dummy targets, conserve missile stocks. Commanders issue the order: shoot sparingly, protect remaining critical infrastructure, save interceptors for cruise threats. Russia ups the pressure, shifting electronic warfare against Ukrainian C2 nodes. trying to force additional communication failures. Russian commanders follow a playbook. Use Kinzhal missiles for point-of-impact destruction. Synchronize strikes with drone swarms. Drones probe defenses. Missiles hit after softening. False targets generated by decoy drones, forcing Ukraine to waste interceptors. Ukrainian coordination falters momentarily. Supply trucks for reloads take evasive routes past burning intersections. Ground crews swap out spent Patriot and NASAMS missiles in less than 180 seconds, racing against possible follow-up attacks. On both sides, restraint and escalation are balanced. Moscow avoids hitting certain Western diplomatic sites. Kyiv withholds full use of its Western-supplied interceptors, anticipating a larger follow-up attack. Emergency dispatch. Darnitsky whole block collapsed. The search is ongoing. Rescue teams crawl through flaming rubble, finding children and mothers amid twisted steel. Civil defense reviews impact. Over 20 separate sites hit, debris scattered from missile fragments. Shops, schools, a university all damaged in western and central Kyiv. By 3:20 a.m., the Air Force sounds an all clear. But at 4:30 a.m., new alarms shriek this time. Ballistic missiles streak in fast. A slammed impact leaves a residential tower gutted. The afterimage dawn over Kyiv, black smoke above a flattened city block. Ukrainian President Zelensky arrives on scene. Calling for stronger international sanctions and new air defense, the world watches as day breaks over devastation. Morning, September 2nd. Kyiv is a city transformed. Fire crews, search teams, city staff rally. Flags are lowered. Western leaders line up with statements. Macron calls out senseless cruelty. Moscow, meanwhile, claims all objectives were military Ukraine disputes. Every word is new video footage shows families digging through wreckage, a nation bearing the scars of hypersonic warfare. Strategically, Russia's strike signals both capability and intent. Hypersonic missiles can leap past legacy air defenses. Ukraine's defenders proved for the first time publicly that Western-supplied systems can defeat even the world's fastest missiles sometimes. But the cost: shattered neighborhoods, lost lives. In a test of national resolve, would you have fired that critical missile knowing only minutes separated a collapse from survival? Is the balance shifting toward escalation or exhaustion? Let me know in the comments. In a situation of 629 aerial weapons incoming, what is the move? Hold fire or unleash everything? Don't click away yet. The next phase may be even more dramatic. This was Kyiv, September 2nd, 2025. A city, a nation, and a war forever changed by hypersonic force.